Okay, I believe we're live this time. Come on. Right. Why isn't it live? There we go. We are live. We are live. So like I say, I've just got my phone open as well. Just go to that email. What is it? Okay, I don't need you. Good morning, everybody. I've got quite a few questions today. Let me just put them into the comment so you can read along. I'm going to try and keep the Q&A sessions to 20 minutes because that's how long I can upload to Instagram for. They don't allow you to do it for longer for some reason. I don't know why. Might be longer than 20 minutes. If it's longer than 20 minutes, it's longer than 20 minutes. If you have any questions, please put them below and I'll get them answered for you. Now, as always, these are just my answers and they might not be right. I'll let you know that now, just because we often disagree. Good morning, George. Let me just open my questions up in a different format so I can just see them a bit better. Come on. There we go. Sorry, it's just I should use two windows for this, really. Sorry about this. Why isn't it? Sorry about this, but I can't set this up actually before before it goes live. Right. Okay. Hi, Matt. We learned on the integrative pattern to say hold the memory for as long as you can, but should it change and go to anything else, that's fine. Recently, I saw Randy's video demonstration where he only says that from the second round onwards. The first round he says that in the mind moves bring it back to the memory. Which is the best approach, or when should you use one, should you use the other? So okay, so when I'm doing the demo, I'm asking them to hold the memory and hold it in mind and don't allow it to change. So basically, that's when I'm working on a standout single memory. I keep asking them to hold the specific memory. Now, when I go to the integrative or the kinesthetic pattern, as we call it, I get the emotion or regress to the first imprint. I then get them to hold that for I get them to hold that for as long as they can. Now, the only reason why I would say something different is if their eyes are just moving really freely, because that would suggest to me that they're not actually thinking about the memory, they're just watching my finger. So what I would do then is I'd say, okay, and keep thinking about the fence. Keep thinking about that memory. Keep thinking about that fence memory. That's right. Keep thinking about that fence memory, just because I don't think they're thinking about anything at this point. So that's what I would do. I might be wrong, but that's what I do. So if the eyes move too smoothly, I basically start to repeat the label. I get them to hold on to that label. But essentially, what I want them to do is I want them to hold on to the memory and then to let it go. So if I don't think they're doing that, I will ask them to hold that memory, hold it for as long as you can. Should it move and change, that's absolutely fine. So that's the way that I do it. My advice to you, try both ways, see what works for you. Where did I get the three pillars from? So this was kindly sent to me by Sean Williams. Oh, that's not straight, is it? So this is the three pillars, and there's been much debate about this as well, which I'll get to. I've put the link, so you can get it. It's £20 plus delivery, so I think it's about £25. All these are changeable, right? So you can move these around. You can also change the times around as well. You can't on this one because it's a little bit lower down, but you can on the ones which he's printing now. So it's a really good visual aid to help people with. So you can get them from Sean Williams, and again, I've put the link in the comments, williamswellbeing.org. So there has been sort of some discussion, should we say, on the association page about the time and where the different things come in the different ways. And to be honest, I've actually reviewed the original training, and Because sometimes the times are put on it as in past, present, and future, and sometimes they aren't. So it can get a little bit kind of confusing. So essentially, anybody who's done my training and been through it, in theory, everything still works because we're still looking to get regret, remorse, shame, guilt. I had to look then. Guilt, shame, regret, and remorse. And we're also looking for anger and temper. We're not working on anxiety. So regardless if you're training me or anybody else, you're still looking for those emotions which they really kind of connect in with. I am actually going to update mine just so it kind of brings it into line and hopefully explain it a little bit better on the training. But it's still the same. And like I say, you can actually move these round. Um, yeah, you can actually begin to move these around anyway, uh, so you can get the configuration that you want. Obviously, we do want to go from the training. In fact, I will probably do a video specifically about this in the future. But you can buy these as a visual aid from Sean Williams. I put the link there. It's really good. 25 quid. And it's 3D printed, so I've been told. The future. So yeah, just go with whatever your trainer told you, really. Hi, Matt. In the training on all of our demos, I've seen with the K pattern, so that's the kinesthetic pattern. During the eye movements process, after we've started, we remind the client a couple of times to hold on to that memory. However, I was watching a video and he said in it, he said it is a mistake to hold. Okay, right, I know exactly what this is. So basically, when you're holding on to it, holding on to the memory, he said it's a mistake to do that as it spreads the feeling to all the corners. However, I've seen on Andy some demos where he reminds the client to hold on to the memory whilst he continues to move their eyes. So my question is, should we just tell them at the start to hold the memory for as long as they can and it shouldn't change, blah, 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 and not say it again? Is it okay during the eye movements process to remind them to hold on to the memory? Okay, so we've actually got a few questions all around this today. So what's going on here? People get confused with the memory, the visual representation of the memory specifically, and the feeling that it evokes, it creates, it's linked with. We do not hold on to the emotion. I say this so many times during the training. IEMT does not work on emotion. It works on memory, which creates the emotion. So we get them to hold on to the memory. When I'm doing the demo pattern, hold on to it for as long as you can. Hold on, keep holding on. I'm not doing very well at all. Keep holding on to it, keep holding on to it. It moves, bring it right back. When I'm doing the kinesthetic pattern, hold on to that memory for as long as you can. I do not say hold on to the emotion. That is incorrect. Holding on to the emotion is incorrect. So we don't want them to hold on to the emotion because that can spread the emotion out. Okay, so hold on to the memory, hold on to the memory. So when I'm doing the simple pattern or the intro pattern, hold on to that memory, hold on to that memory, hold on to that memory. When I'm doing the kinesthetic pattern, hold on to that memory for as long as you can. I hope that makes sense. How much shall I charge for IMT sessions? I don't know. I don't know who you're working with. I don't know what your background is. I don't know how long your sessions are. I don't know how many sessions you do. It is completely dependent on many, many factors. So I personally charge 150. Well, I charge 2 sessions, 300 for 2 sessions, and they last up to an hour each because sometimes we don't need an hour. Depends on what we're doing. Um, if you're doing coaching with people as well, or hypnotherapy or counseling, you might see people for 10 sessions, and you're probably not going to be charging £150 per session. So I am actually starting a marketing club, and we will go more in depth into this thing as well. But it's like if you're doing corporate work, for example, as opposed to working with women who are coming out of abusive relationships and they're essentially homeless or living on somebody's sofa and she's got children to feed. She doesn't have £150 for a session of IEMT. Okay, but somebody who's doing corporate work and they just want to become a bit more productive, they have a lot of money. So it really depends. It really depends. So you can look at what other people are charging, but there has to be something that you feel's worthwhile. I think that when you're newly qualified as an IMT practitioner, and if that's the only background you have, I think between 30 and £50 a session is reasonable, and it'll allow you to get an influx of clients, and it'll allow you to build up your experience in your reviews, your testimonials, your confidence. Can you use does IEMT work with children? So yeah, a lot of IEMT works really well with children. What works really well is the episodic time, the PSACs, they work both really, really well with children. Also, the holding on to a negative memory, and obviously children are going to regress less because they're younger. So holding on to negative memories works really well. Some regression stuff does work well as well. I haven't The identity stuff, I don't think I, me, self, you type of stuff is going to be that effective with children. I don't know. But certainly about nicknames, bullying, labels, that kind of stuff, that also works well as well. I haven't worked with many children. I have no interest in working with children. There's a load of people who do work with children on this. So if you want to jump in, comment, put your experience, please do so. Can you use IMT with pregnant people? Do you know, it's a good question, this, and I cannot give you a straight answer. Have I? Yes, I have. I have worked with because I've got people about very nervous and anxious about giving birth. So I have actually worked with some people in regards to anxiety around birth anxiety. Is that a thing? So I have done that. I wouldn't work with somebody who is 9 months pregnant and experiencing PTSD and trauma. Um, I don't want to be near somebody who is going to give birth, doing anything, because they might start to give birth, especially remotely. No. So I wouldn't, because I'm not a trained midwife. I'd like this question as well. It says, can you use IMT with pregnant people? Identity work right there, isn't it? Um, I saw something the other day. People who can get pregnant. I did a new session. I did a new client session yesterday, and they said they felt dizzy. Is this normal? Okay, so yes and no. Moving your eyes a lot is probably going to cause a little bit of wobbliness. So what we want to do is we want to decrease or limit the amount of eye movements we're actually doing in a session. And we do this by only doing 40 seconds maximum per set of eye movements. If you're just doing that for ages, it's going to cause dizziness. So that's why we do limit this. So to make sure that I always say just do 6 on each axis maximum, or until the deviation's clear. Yeah, depending on what you're doing, obviously. But so we're wanting to do short bursts. Now, I have seen people get dizzy and sort of report this, especially on, I think it was the association site, stuff like that. People work on reporting this. I often find people feel a bit tingly in the lobes and also the back of the head as well. Also, what I've noticed increasingly is that the neck muscles relax, and that allows for greater blood flow, which can actually cause a bit of a head rush. So that's something to consider as well. The dizziness can also be the second stage, well, the first stage really, of the three-stage overreaction process. So that's also common. So these things are worth taking into consideration. So if you're being careful with the client and making sure you're not doing too many eye movements and not doing them for too long, if they're saying they're getting dizzy, but if they are then becoming sort of obstructive and resistant to it, that might be worth investigating by itself. What experience do I need to become a practitioner? You don't need any prior training to become an IMT practitioner. However, it will limit the kind of people that you can work with once you are a practitioner. So people always say, can IEMT work on X condition? And you should remove IEMT and just replace it with your name. Can I work with this condition? Doing a weekend training course doesn't make you a therapist. It makes you an IEMT practitioner. And there's a big difference between the two. It doesn't make you a counselor, doesn't make you a therapist, makes you an IEMT practitioner. And so you are only able to really work with sort of low level emotional problems, that kind of stuff, if you don't have any other training. However, if you do have any other training, then you can bring IEMT into what you're already doing, if you're able to deal with different types of clients. When are you setting up the coaching membership website? Soon. So I have about 30, oh God, must be more than that actually. Loads and loads of hours of coaching sessions that I've done with people. I do for my practice, not for my practitioners. Yes, I mean for my practitioners. So I will be making this available soon. And so basically, if you haven't done my training, you can pay like a one, like it'll be an annual fee to access all the back catalog plus do the coaching session once a month with me as well. And this coaching session does include live demo and full client sessions as well. I will be making that available in the near future. IEMT for weight loss, how would you do it? I, It's a big thing. So Andy always says people who are damaged by life, he uses IMT. People who are damaging their life, he tends to use metaphors of movement. If somebody is overeating, for me, that is them. That's like a behavior thing that they are doing which is damaging their life. Now, sometimes, again, weight loss is such a huge, huge place. If you should check up Yolanda, who's in this group, she does body training, personal training, and IEMT to get really, really good results. Um, Also, HypnoJab by Steve, that might be worth looking into as well. So the things, it's not that straightforward because I know when I did my hypnosis training, I was given a script. This is your weight loss script. Oh, okay. But it doesn't address why the people are overeating and why they aren't looking, basically, why aren't they taking care of themselves? So it's IEMT is an exploration of the problem. It's not an outcome. And so it's not a solution. So yes, IMT can be used to help people who are overweight and who are overeating, but it's an exploration of that. So it's not an outcome. So you cannot say, I will stop you overeating in an hour or any of those kind of claims. Okay. Is that another comment? Emotional eating is common. Yes. So as long as there were the emotional memories associated, that sounds yeah, absolutely. So Sarah's just saying that obviously overeating is an emotional thing. Obviously, a lot of eating is tied back to childhood and being rewarded with food. And so, as adults, if we feel scared, lost, lonely, frightened, whatever, we often sort of self soothe with food. And obviously, food is designed to make us feel good, sort of packaged food, colorful packaging, stuff like this makes us feel good for a little bit. And then obviously, you get a big crash, then you eat more and more. So, the food industry is actually quite dark on how it also works with preservatives and additives and things like this. Um, I saw Andy's video demonstration where he was applying the identity pattern. Then up came an emotion. He asked the questions for the integrative pattern, the kinesthetic pattern, but he used the lazy eight movements. Should we use the right? Okay. I remember this, and if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong, somebody asked him why he did that, and his answer was he didn't know. So with IEMT, we have found, now this is just my understanding, we have found that the straight line axis tends to work better on memory. And the curvy, it's really weird because it's not mirrored, so I don't know what I'm doing. The curvy lazy eight works better on identity stuff. Will they work the other way around? Yes, you will get some form of change still, so it will actually still work. Um, but it's best to stick to straight lines on that. So I don't think Andy actually meant to do that or why he did that, but I might be wrong on that. I've got to admit, I might be wrong on that. But I remember watching a thing about that, a Q&A session, and that's what he said. If it's if it's the demonstration, and I think it was because I actually had that original DVD, ages me. Any last questions? I want to try and keep this within 20 minutes. This is my new vibe because then I can put it onto Instagram without editing it. Any final questions? If not, you can put them below and I will answer them next week anyway. Got a bit excited. I went to the chiropractor yesterday. Still got some sciatica, which is annoying. Okay, I'll give it 1 minute. Now, if there's no questions, I am going to move on. Check the WhatsApp group. Okay then, beautiful people. If there's no more questions, there's one space left for this month's training. Just get in contact if you're interested in doing it, either as a new practitioner or you're wanting to repeat it. That's absolutely fine. And to repeat the training, you can be certified or just do your initial training with anybody else. You'll still qualify for the discount with me. If you have any questions about it, just drop me an email, all right? Or drop me a message on Facebook. We'll get it sorted out for you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day and be nice to each other. Oh, wait a minute. Was that a question? No, it wasn't. Bye.